internet. So I'm back in my home bedroom in Victoria, where I'm originally from, although I'm now living and working in downtown Vancouver. It's lovely to be home, and I thought, what better way to celebrate that than by filming a series which sort of meets the request that many of you have been asking for, which is how I do my makeup on a daily basis to go to work. Instead of doing one long video on my makeup routine, I've split it up into a little video series discussing each area of my face. And that way, if you're already happy with the way you do your lips on a daily basis and you don't need my tips, then you don't have to watch it. But if you would like to hear my tips, then you can watch it and it won't be interminable. So I'm really excited about sharing this with you. It's definitely something I've wanted to do for a long time, but the lighting in my apartment is definitely not as good as it is here in my home bedroom, and there is something lovely and nostalgic about doing a very special and hopefully useful series in my home. So I guess that is it for explanation. It is pretty self-explanatory. It's a very sort of basic, simple eye look and face look. So without further ado, let's get right into the first step. And then the subsequent installments covering each other area of the face will be following soon after. The very first thing I do is apply my under eye concealer and just pat that in. And I know you're supposed to use your ring finger for this, but I always use my middle finger to apply most of it and then my ring finger just to set it. I don't know how much the camera captures the exact shade, but it's about a half shade lighter than my skin tone, until you feel like the product is no longer sitting on your skin and there's none in any creases in your eye. So right here, I often get buildup right here, so you really want to avoid applying too much product there. So once you've done that, I start brightening. And it is quite a process for me, but I really think that it's worth it. Rather than spending a lot of time concealing and applying cakey layer after cakey layer, I focus on brightening. And my favorite under eye brightener is the Garnier Roll-On, and this is a color light. It's the lighter colored one. And you can see it's this lovely apricot sort of shade, and it has a really nice silky texture to it. And I apply it to the outside, working my way in. We're essentially putting down a good foundation for our foundation and the rest of our makeup. Now that we've done that, it's time for foundations. You can see my very disgusting cakey bottle of Perfection Lumiere Teint Fluide Perfection Haute Tenue Longwear Flawless Fluid Makeup from Chanel. And this has been my favorite foundation over the last 3 months or so. And I am not a big one for applying foundation carefully. I have no patience for it. I don't like using makeup brushes with cream products. I believe in using fingers. So again, you can see me applying it with my middle finger, and then eventually setting it with my ring finger. And then I start patting, using really all of my fingers, but mostly my ring finger, to really drive the product into the skin and avoid any sitting on any areas. And then I'll take a little more, and I have some left on my fingers anyway, and just put it down onto my neck. I applied all of the cream products that are going to go on my skin, and with my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, which is a translucent brightening powder. So you can see this is the second brightening step for my under eye process. A tip here is to use a larger brush to apply it. If you use a brush that is too small, like maybe a MAC 219, I believe that it applies too much product and doesn't spread it out properly. So I prefer to use a fluffier brush. This is just one that I got in a kit from Bare Minerals. It's actually a too small brush, and so it works great for this, sort of that medium size. and this just acts to set everything and keep it in place absolutely all day and reinforce that approach of brightening over heavy concealing. So we've set the under eye area, but we haven't set the rest of the face, which definitely does need some setting since I have oily skin, and the Perfection Lumiere foundation is pretty mattifying but does leave behind a slight glow on the T-zone, which I like to avoid for my corporate makeup look. So I use the Poudre Universelle Compact Poudre Pressée Fini Naturelle, and this is a color 20 translucent one. And I really think that when you apply any kind of setting powder, whether it be a pressed one, a translucent one, or a colored one, using something like a little makeup pad, I need to change this actually and get a new one, but these are amazing, and they really, again, sort of meld everything together and keep you from applying too much product or moving the product that you have already applied around, which can really create a lot of cakiness. This just sort of presses into the makeup and really, in my opinion, applies the right amount. That is the finished face look, and you can see it's not a mask. It's not perfect. The aim isn't to create perfection. It's to create a better version of your skin and have that come off as something natural looking, so that someone up close to you who might be like a few inches away will not be able to see a layer of makeup clinging to your skin. And also, for my case especially, or anyone who has to struggle with oilier skin and that change throughout the day, that accumulation of oil, something that with minimal amounts of powdering and blotting will continue to look good and fresh. And so that's my version of creating a base for the rest of your makeup. And the way that I just finish it off before I let you guys go for this first installment is to take a Q-tip, which is dry, and just remove any excess that may have built up, because you actually don't want any concealer right here. And the reasoning behind that is that we're going to be dealing with the under eye area in another installment that you guys will see very shortly, and I don't want any product buildup there. That is my completed approach to skin for this particular installment, and I will see you in the next one where we're going to talk about applying blush, highlighter, and bronzer. So I'll see you next time. Bye!